Good morning, everyone. I'm Norman Douglas, owner of the Kansas Bankruptcy Center. This morning, we're going to talk about a common misconception within a Chapter 13 bankruptcy case. Recently, I had a client who had this misconception, and she was very pleasantly surprised when it turns out that her misconception, or what she assumed was right, was actually not right, and it was wrong. I own the Kansas Bankruptcy Center in Wichita, Kansas. If you'd like a free consultation, you can go to www.mydebtfree.life and you can schedule one there. We can do it over the phone. We can do it in office. When you go on that website, you'll be able to see my openings on my calendar and pick a time that works for you. You'll also be able to fill out the intake form, and that way, whenever you come into the office, I'll have the information I need to kind of get into the details of your situation and focus that time on you and not all the details that are on the intake form that I need to kind of give you some info. So go there, fill that out, and let's get together for a consultation and see if we can give you some help. All right. So this misconception that this client had about a Chapter 13 was that she was going to have to pay all of her debts off within the Chapter 13. Okay. She thought that I have to pay the credit cards, I have to pay the medical bills, I have to pay those debts back within that Chapter 13. And that's just not necessarily true. Number one, a Chapter 13 case, bankruptcy case, is a payment plan to the bankruptcy trustee for a minimum of 36 months and a maximum of 60 months, so 3 to 5 years, and sometimes somewhere in between. But a minimum of 3, maximum of 5 years, you are in a Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You go into a Chapter 13 bankruptcy for many reasons. Sometimes you're behind on house payments, car payments, and a Chapter 13 allows you to catch up those payments, so when you exit, generally your car is paid off and your house is current. Also, sometimes you go into a Chapter 13 because you make too much money to qualify for a Chapter 7. Sometimes you go into it because you want to get some taxes paid off, you want to get some maybe child support, alimony, things like that, get those items paid. So there's lots of reasons to go into a Chapter 13. There's also lots of not issues, but there's lots of avenues within a Chapter 13 as to how it can work and work for you. A lot of the time, dealing with unsecured creditors, whether it's credit cards, medical bills, payday loans, whoever it may be, in a Chapter 13 you can pay 0% or you can pay 100%, okay, and anywhere in between. If you make too much money, you'll probably be paying something into to unsecured creditors. If you make more than the median income limits or the means test numbers, it just kind of depends on what those numbers show, depends on how much you pay to unsecured creditors. Most of the time, you won't pay hardly anything to unsecured creditors if you're below the income limits. And so her misconception was that I have to pay off all these credit cards or medical bills that she had. And again, that's just simply not true. And so a lot of times folks get focused on either their own research or they get focused on family and friends who are trying to help, and they start assuming things. Those numbers can be huge. I mean, just, if you owe $60,000, that's $1,000 a month. Theoretically, you would have to pay into a Chapter 13, and that's just not necessarily the case. Again, it depends upon your income. It depends upon whether or not you're above or below the income limit, and so the best way to figure out how that would work for you is to schedule a free consultation. Maybe a Chapter 7 is better in your situation. Maybe a Chapter 13 is, but a bankruptcy attorney can help you out and can kind of kill these misconceptions and give you accurate information. So again, my name is Norman Douglas. I own the Kansas Bankruptcy Center here in Wichita, Kansas. You can go to our website at www.mydebtfree.life and schedule a free consultation there, either by phone or you can come in person and we can meet that way. So I appreciate you watching, and I will talk to you next time. Thank you.